So I want to talk about my why behind why I have decided to like really create the Fit Educators Club in this channel. I started out my career as a substitute teacher, um, and really because I was a stay-at-home mom and wife, and it was something that I would do like 2 or 3 times a week whenever I kind of felt like it. So it wasn't like this thing. Um, and as I like really did it more often, I just enjoyed education. I really did. I eventually became a full-time classroom teacher. And then from there, I took on other roles within education. I have developed curriculum. I have developed assessments. I'm originally from Florida. I have worked as a classroom teacher, department head, content specialist, all those things, all the things. Eventually, I transitioned to Washington, D.C., where I was also a classroom teacher, department head. Um, I also led I was over culture, school culture, and eventually I became an assistant principal, and now I work in professional learning. All that to say that as I have transcended through my educational career path, and this year will be my 20th year in education, who would have thought I would be in education for this long? One of the things that has been a consistent thing is that I know that educators pour their hearts and souls into the students that they serve and their families. And we spend so much time with our colleagues. And eventually, sometimes that is going to lead to burnout. And that burnout leads to basically, just disinterest or just like apathy in education. This is my little puppy, Just Jack. So I created this channel. I have done research. I have a doctorate degree in organizational leadership. I have a master's degree in educational leadership. So I have done a lot of research on this topic, especially around teacher retention. And the consistent is that, hey, after we have this burnout and we become so exhausted that we don't have any more to give, we may remain in the field of education or we may leave the field of education. But either way, education, we're losing some really great people because we haven't created systems and put systems in place to support educators. And educators are not putting systems in place for themselves to make sure that they're able to, be as successful or actually have that longevity that they had originally planned on in this career field. So, the Fit Educators Club is about holistic wellness. I am speaking as an educational professional, as someone who has held many different hats, who's been in many different roles, and who also understands that this is about like my life. That's my thing. This is my life, my journey, my choice. And I really want to, give that message to other educators. This is about our lives. This is our journey and our choice. And we have the choice to whether if we want to like fulfill our cup with joy and peace and understanding and just serving ourselves and creating that daily space for ourselves, or we have the choice to, become exhausted or overwhelmed or not feeling how we used to feel when we originally began this career choice. So follow along, subscribe. We are really going to talk about things that are relevant to the classroom teacher, things that are relevant to the school leader and the educational executive. Because guess what? I've been in all those roles, so I understand all of them. So here at the Fit Educators Club, we're going to talk about real world things that you can do to fill your own cup to create that space for yourself. So why not start right now? So one of the things that I enjoy, I don't want to, let me not say the word I enjoy, that I think is necessary is breathing. We all know it's necessary to breathe. But oftentimes we're holding so much stress and frustration or anger, whatever, or anxiety in our bodies that we often forget to breathe. So one of my favorite breathing techniques is a 4-4-4 breath. It is when I it is when I breathe through my nose for a count of 4. I hold for a count of 4 and I breathe out for a count of 4. And I may do this for several repetitions as a way to just center myself and really get me grounded in what I need to focus on. I do this sometimes in the middle of meetings, especially really, really, really long meetings where you're like, why am I here? This could have been an email meetings. I love to like just take this breath, take these 4 breaths in, hold for 4 and breathe out for 4. So because I know that this is a channel for educators and we love to model, sometimes we feel like people just tell us to do stuff and they don't show us how to do it. I've had teachers tell me that, like, oh, you think you can do this? Show me how to do it. Then, of course, I go into the classroom and I say, yeah, this is something that you can actually do. So I want to model how you're going to do this. And you can do this anywhere. You could do a drive on your way to work, before you get to work. When I tell you in that long meeting, that could have been an email. This is a great breathing technique. When you got that nasty email from a parent about how her child would never do that, this is a time to employ this breathing technique. So follow along with me, and eventually, hopefully, I will learn how to create these like cool graphics where people like, there's a ball going up and a ball going down. But right now, we're just going to do what we have to do, which is that we're going to breathe in for 4 through our nose. We're going to hold it for 4, and then we're going to release for 4. Very simple. If you are able to, I like to suggest making sure that your foots, Lord, yeah, doctor degree, foots. Make sure that your feet are planted steady and flat on the ground. And if you are able to, you can close your eyes. If you don't have the opportunity to close your eyes, maybe you're at the stoplight, it's okay. You're still going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and release for 4. So that's just Jack. Let's see. He's not going to breathe. So this is how it goes. You breathe in on a count of 4. Very quick. I took a breath and I counted to 4. I held for 4 and I released for 4 out of my out of my mouth. So let's do it again. And I'm not going to be able to count because guess what? I'm breathing. So here we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and release for 4. And you can do several repetitions of that. And you will notice like your shoulders will start to like release and come down because that's like just the stress or whatever you're holding is coming out. This is a great technique. I cannot like suggest it anymore that this is a way to really get yourself in balance and just to center yourself. So breathe in for 4 in your nose. You're going to hold for 4 and you're going to release for 4 through your mouth. Please join us, the Fit Educators Club. My hope is that this will be a community for educators in all roles. This is not, oh, classroom teachers only, oh, school leaders only. No, it's for everyone because we are all educators and we're all serving the purpose of hoping to support our students. And one of my favorite things is this is about the posterity. We are impacting generations of families through the work that we do. So follow the Fit Educators Club. You'll get weekly newsletters, weekly postings, and suggestions around how to really create a holistic self-care routine. Self-care is just not about like going to get your nails done. Self-care is the decisions that you make about. Self-care involves the decisions that you make every day. This is an authentic place. Listen, I am from the South. You will hear my Southern accent. Yes, I am degreed. And I have all the degrees. But listen, I'm still from the South. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear the frustrations. The good days and the bad days. But holistically, this is about health and wellness. And you making the choices that fit your life. So this is about your life, your journey, and your choice as a part of the Fit Educators Club. So that is my why, along with a great breathing tip. So hopefully you will subscribe and follow along on this journey. This is myself, Martisha, the founder, leader, executive, whatever you want to call, of the Fit Educators Club. I have no ulterior motive beyond, hey, I want educators, high quality, effective educators, to feel seen, to know that they are valued and heard, while also creating a balance for themselves and their families. When I started out in education, I had a 6-week-old baby and a 7-year-old, and as well as my stepchildren. So listen, my cup was overflowing when I began this journey. But I'm so thankful that I was able to stick it out, that I had mentors around me, that I also was intentional about choosing myself when it came to my choices and my journey around how to balance life and how to balance my job, and making sure that my health care, my mental health was always a priority. Even in times when people were like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a breath. Ooh, see, excuse me, burping. I'm going to take that time to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, because no one can pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So before we leave, we're going to do our breathing technique again. We are going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and release for 4. Here we go. Let's do it again collectively. Ready? Let's go. Amazing. Your life, your journey, your choice.